Here for Fishkin. Thank you very much for taking the interview.
Yeah, my pleasure, Alex.
Now, let's go with a couple of questions. First, I read your article, Clicks Are Dying, Marketing is Going Back to the 20th Century. Yes, you remember that one?
Yep.
And you said, quoting, clicks are dying and attribution is dying. So that's something we're also facing. It's some hardship, especially things are changing very, very rapidly. So we're just wondering, especially towards client side, how are we just going to track all the KPI and deliver all the results and all that kind of stuff? It's a bit rough. So I was wondering what you think about that. Maybe what you keep track of, or you can see the closest KPI right now.
Yeah, so my opinion is attribution is dying, but not measurement.
皆さん、こんにちは。本日はお隣三井ホールで開催されているファウンドコンファレンス東京2025年に来ています。SEO トップエキスパートが集まっているところで、どんな話ができるをお楽しみにしています。現状の要素をレポーティングしています。
Well, thank you very much for taking the questions. First of all, going back to your presentation, you said actually SEO is changing a lot right now. It's very sudden. We're just all trying to adjust. And there's one thing that really stuck to me, which is like instead of just focusing on just like maybe written content or like just one specific medium, it's more sort of a spectrum. So you can appear in different mediums in different ways. So for companies that are still stuck, just providing the same services, especially a lot of blog writing and this kind of SEO focused, how would you say, or what would be your recommendation or your point of view on how these kind of companies can just start to adapt slowly and just start changing the way they streamline things and start optimizing a bit more for other type of content?
Sure, I'd say the first thing is that they should look at the whole query fan out idea. So like figure out where the gaps are and say, okay, well, this is a series of queries that requires video or audio. We're seeing like that's what's showing up the most for these queries, and then kind of step into it based on where the priorities lie. So if it's a set of keywords that are like really important to the business, do one or two of those, and it might just be like one or two of videos that you do, and then once you see the impact, just keep growing it as required. I'm not saying that text doesn't work at all. I'm just saying that there are instances where it's required to have other formats. And if you don't have that, you're going to miss out on opportunities to appear in AI search.
So it's hard to start, at the very least, just adapting slowly and just start to get it as much.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to make 100 videos overnight. I'm saying like, see where the gaps are and then do one or two, make sure it works for you, and then keep going from there.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, this is more of a personal one. You sound like a bit of an artist, you're just rapping as well, doing that kind of stuff. When you get, let's say, a new project or a new client, a new website, do you always take things like, let's say, more in an analytical way, just start running tests, as you said, just start looking at the numbers, or you try to customize them, the measures that you will implement in a bit more, let's say, artistic way or innovative way?
So it's a combination, right? Like it's never going to be all one or the other for me. I'm going to look at it, like things that we do are going to be very process driven, data driven, and so on. But strategically, we're going to look for like the more creative edge, right? Like I think in marketing and especially SEO, people are trying to like replicate things over and over. But marketing is about standing out. It's about differentiating and things like that. So like, look at the data, but then look for a way to do something different based on where the gaps are, based on where the opportunities are. Otherwise, you're just copying what everyone else is doing, and then like, why should you perform better than anyone else?
Exactly. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time. First of all, thank you very much for taking the questions.
Thank you.
So, personally, as I told you, it resonated a lot with me because we're doing lately I've been doing web core vitals, and I just felt like I just had to take everything without knowing coding and send it back to the engineers because I have no idea about it. Then I realized, like, to some extent that I don't really need to actually code it myself. Like, I can just try to read it, try to understand what's wrong with it. Like, I've been just dabbing a bit into like async, defer, what should actually be done maybe to improve all the components. But that's why when you said it just programming on a basic level, Actually thought that's actually a huge help. And I'm just wondering, because I tried to get into like some coding, but every place that I look to learn some coding, they're like, learn JavaScript from scratch. That's not quite what I had in mind. So I was wondering if you had any recommendation for people that say, hey, I'm doing SEO, I want to understand code to a basic level, maybe Python, maybe JavaScript. What would you recommend for me to start?
So it's a much better keyword than coding.
Yeah.
It's data science.
Yeah.
And it's not about writing code and how to code and all these things. It's more about data principles. Because all the automation that we do, all the stuff that we make, all the insights that we do are data-based.
Okay.
And it's more about learning those insights than it is about coding. So let me give you an example. There's something called data visualization. When do you use a histogram?
Yes.
When do you use a bar chart? What kind of color scales do you use? What kind of maps, projections are more relevant? When you have data that's exponentially distributed, these kinds of things are the ones that we need to learn.
Okay.
And once you understand these, it becomes easy to say, oh, okay, I want to create a histogram. Now, what the code is, the LM can tell you what the code is. You don't need to know like all the details of, okay, I have to put a dot here and then I have to put a comma or whatever. It's about knowing that when I have these numbers, a histogram is a good option to visualize them. Okay? If I have this situation, clustering is a good tool for that.
Yeah.
So let me give you another analogy. So if you want to learn how to use a calculator, the worst thing to do is to learn how to use a calculator. Because using the calculator is nothing. If you press 3x4, you'll see number 12. But what does that mean? What you need to learn is arithmetic. Okay?
Learn from arithmetic.
Addition, multiplication.
The base behind it.
Exactly. And then when I tell you, okay, there's a hall here, we have 6 rows, and each row has 10 seats. How many rows do I have? We say the algorithm here is called multiplication.
Yep.
Now you go to the calculator and say 10 times 6.
With the base already learned.
And you should know how this works, because you need to know that 10 times 6 is the same thing as 6 times 10. So you need to know the algorithm, which is multiplication here, and then you can go to the calculator and say 10 times 6. So it's same thing here with coding. If you start learning coding, it's like someone who doesn't know arithmetic goes to learn the calculator. Learning the calculator is very easy.
It's nothing.
But some people go into learning the electronics behind it.
Yes.
How the calculator works. Don't go there.
That's madness.
That's what happened if you want to learn coding.
Okay.
So you'll
just
end
getting
up
way into deep.
You'll get not way too deep, but you're going to go deep into a different irrelevant position.
Okay.
Learning how calculators work is very important. We need people to manufacture these. But you and I are not into the manufacturing business. We want to just use the calculator. We want to be very good at computing things and learning how to use them. So my suggested keyword is data science. And within that, any data science course or book or tutorial or whatever is going to show you the relevant amount of programming that you have. You will learn some programming, but just enough to get you started. Another good analogy, I think, if you do SEO is learning HTML.
Yeah.
Imagine you want to learn HTML. You'll go very deep into how it works, but you won't learn about keyword research. You won't learn about content. And you're going to be like, I'm not ranking anything. Well, it's not HTML, it's called SEO that we're doing. And so if you take an SEO course, you will learn some HTML.
Yeah.
But just enough to do SEO.
Yeah.
Without going into web development.
Okay. So we can say it's just a misconception. It's not about actually learning code. It's about data analysis.
That's what I try to always show people. And when I started, I started with something called data science. I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. That's what we do all day long, and that's what we do. And okay, it involves some coding and so on, but it's not coding.
That's the difference.
That's not what we're doing. We are data people. We are data obsessed people. You can see just all it's all data, it's all charts. And we are the people who, when reading a newspaper, we read those charts.
Yeah.
We see what happened up and went down. So data science is that. with a bit of coding that makes that very much powerful.
All right.
So my suggested keyword is just learn data science.
All right.
It would get you on the right track.
I'll do that. Thank you very much. Perfect sense.
Cool. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're here for Rand Fishkin. Thank you very much for taking the interview.
Yeah, my pleasure, Alex.
Now, let's go with a couple of questions. First, I read your article, Clicks Are Dying, Marketing is Going Back to the 20th Century. Guess you remember that one?
Yep.
And you said, quoting, clicks are dying and attribution is dying. So that's something we're also facing. It's some hardship, especially things are changing very, very rapidly. So we're just wondering, especially towards client side, how are we just gonna track all the KPI and deliver all the results and all that kind of stuff? It's a bit rough. So I was wondering what you think about that. Maybe what you keep track of, or you can see the closest KPI right now.
Yeah, so my opinion is attribution is dying, but not measurement. And these are two different things, right? So you can, for example, you can measure your sales without attribution. You can measure your traffic. You can measure how many people search for your brand name. You can measure how many people saw your YouTube video or follow you on Twitter, right? All those kinds of metrics are possible to measure. I don't think that's going away.
Okay.
What I think the hard part is, especially for agency folks who are talking to their clients, is to say, hey, we can no longer effectively attribute every sale to everything the person did before they bought from you.
Okay.
That is gone.
The process is gone.
The process is gone.
Okay.
And that means you can't make marketing investments based purely on attribution, right? Post-purchase attribution. You have to go find the places where your audience pays attention and be present in those places, knowing that you'll be able to measure what used to be called vanity metrics, but you can't actually prove that this person saw that engagement, that video, read that article, and then purchased. That's the hard conversation.
All right, so the metrics are still alive, just the attribution process we've been using up to now are just gone.
Exactly. Imagine, right, like you and I have this conversation. Maybe somebody sees this video and then they're like, oh, who's Rand Fishkin? So they go to ChatGPT and they say, tell me about Rand Fishkin. And then they see, oh, he runs Alert Mouse and SparkToro and Snackbar Studio. And then they go to Google and they search for SparkToro and they click on SparkToro and they decide to sign up. What attribution? Like they're going to attribute.
How do you measure that?
Should I attribute that to Google? Google was just an intermediary. They're
the middleman.
They deserve no credit at all. They're just a middleman. And you could see from a lot of the talks today, right, that people go to AI tools, they go to social media, they wander around the real world, they talk to their friends, and then they go to Google or an AI tool, and then they come to your website.
Okay.
This attribution thing, it was probably always broken.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
We're just realizing now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And as for the second one, I might be citing you, but I didn't find the exact source. It was from a third party, just tell me if it's accurate or not. Zero-click organic search is a branding opportunity, which I think falls in line with what you were saying right now, more or less.
100%.
Now, I'm curious, do you think this is especially true for like big companies and small companies alike, or one of them has an edge over the other one?
Well, the frustrating, Alex. So for sure, big companies have an edge.
Okay.
Like it is completely unfair and tilted in the favor of anyone who's already got an existing brand that people know and like and trust, that people are searching for and talking about and mentioning. And if you're an incumbent, meaning a big brand, you benefit from that. New brands, startups, creators like us, people who are trying to break through, we have it so much harder. But I will say this, search is an area where big brands have historically been terrible about investing early, especially in new tactics. Like they get left behind, they really do. And so if you're new, if you're early, if you're a startup, if you're a creator, you do have an advantage with zero-click marketing because big brands are not investing in it yet. They're not trying to get their image, to be the one on the side of the Google search results. They're not even thinking that way. They're still thinking rank in the top position, try and get the traffic.
The classic game.
Yeah, classic game, right? They're playing SEO. Maybe they're playing in how do I get into the AI overview. But you can play these games too, right? Like you can stay 5 steps ahead and say, oh, you know what? My website might not rank that well, but these guys aren't willing to make a bunch of YouTube videos. They're not willing to go wade into the Reddit comments. They're not willing to post on these forums and industry discussion sites. They're not willing to submit articles to third parties. I am.
So just fight where they're not actually fighting in,
Exactly.
and when it's not saturated in that sense.
Exactly.
All right. So just to finish, this might be a more personal question.
Yeah.
So got some cases where the clicks are clearly dropping. Impressions are somewhat steadily, sometimes are growing. So we're back into the no click, but there's a branding opportunity. How do you sell this to someone that actually is not, maybe has no SEO background, maybe doesn't have a marketing background? How can you tell them like, hey, this is fine, we can take this into this other direction, into branding, but we're lacking metrics most of the time, or what metrics should we actually measure them by?
So I think about, let's say you go to 1965,
Okay.
right? And you go down the street to the Dentsu advertising, right? And you're like, hey, how are you guys measuring this stuff? And what are they doing, right?
Fair enough.
They run a billboard, right? They run a billboard in Shibuya, and then they measure, hey, how did same-store sales in a 10-block radius do after we put up?
Into conversions.
They look at lift-based measurement.
All
And that's exactly what we're pitching.
Oh, that's right. Okay, now it checks out with your back to the 20th century marketing.
Back to the 20th century,
All
right? Yeah, same way we used to do it, that's the way we're gonna do it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
Appreciate it.
Great to do this with you. Cheers.
Thank you.
イベント参加してみてどうでしたか？
It was really fun. We're finally back. It was a very, very instructive 2 days. Actually, when approaching it, we always thought that it would be like more cold, not that friendly, lots of people from different countries don't know each other. Some people are like big shots, while others are just trying to learn. And actually, all the people that came, just Noah Lerner, Elias, Rand Fishkin, Michael King, Lily Ray, they were super kind to us. When you approach them, if you want a picture, we're pictured. You want to make some small talk, they did some small talk with you. Even we asked them for an interview, as you saw, they were more than accommodating to that. They were like, yeah, let's do it, whatever you need, whatever. So it was actually extremely great. Now we just need some days, weeks, months to actually try to organize all the information we have actually gotten. And yeah, just a wonderful experience overall. Bokan
Is there
out.
is there any data you are interested in or knowledge?
I think what actually got my attention the most is like, on a personal level, probably from like Elias, which actually showed me like, you don't have to actually go into coding if you do SEO, just lean into data analyst, just try to get some knowledge on surface level code, but it's just surface level code and there's other stuff on how to get all the data that actually interests you, process that data and actually implement them in useful ways. I would say on a personal level, that's the one that actually impacted me the most, without a doubt, for sure.
If you have a chance, you want to join other conference in other countries?
For sure.
Sure.
For sure. It was actually a very good experience. Can't wait to join another one.